Welcome, everybody, to today's show. Today is Monday, March 20th. I want to welcome everybody to today's show. We are going to be doing kind of a pivot here from the shows that I've been doing in the past. But today we are going to look at my top 10, really, but top five and the next five cryptos that I would be buying and holding for the next bull run, which is going to occur probably over the next 24 to 36 months. So now is the time that you want to have a plan for accumulating crypto. Yes, you can trade crypto on a daily basis. That is definitely not my skill set. If I am trading crypto, I am looking for swing trades, which basically means I'm buying the crypto today with the goal of it increasing in value over the next 21 days. And then, having my point that I'm looking for it to get to, and then selling the crypto at that sale target within the next 21 days. I'm not very good um, on the day trade side of it. Yes, you can do day trading, but that takes an entirely different skill set, an entirely different set of tools. So personally, I'm going to be doing a lot more swing trading, but I did want to go over today the cryptos that I'm going to be buying and holding. So a portion of my budget every month is going to go into cryptos that I'm buying and holding for the next bull run. And we're going to talk about some of those today. But real quick, let's just take a look at the overall crypto market. And this last week has been crazy. So let's just go back and review what our crypto market looked like the last time I really had a call and took a look at anything, that was on the 6th of March. Now let's take a look at where everything is today, and this will give you an idea of what's happened. So let's take a look at the market cap. The market cap right now is 1.21 trillion. So I've had a lot going on, so I haven't kept up to date with what I have with my tracker here. But as we start to get back in the swing of things, we're going to at least start to continue to um, track some of this information. I had a very big week last week. One of my projects launched, and we'll talk a little bit more about that a little bit later on. But there's our overall market cap. Bitcoin today is at 542. So 542, almost $100 billion has come into the market in less than 2 weeks. In fact, it's probably closer to a week. But that is absolutely amazing. But that's what can happen here with crypto. And that was just in Bitcoin. Let's look at Ethereum. Ethereum, we're at 209. So let's go up here to put 209. So I haven't had as big of a jump in Ethereum. A lot of it went into Bitcoin, right? You can see here over 100 billion went into Bitcoin in that same time frame. 20 no 90 yeah 20 billion went into Ethereum. So lots and lots of inflow into the crypto market. Now let's touch on um, the cryptos that I'm buying and holding, right? There's a lot of things you can do. We're going to talk about 10 today. I may go do some in-depth videos about different things and why I pick them, but you'll get an idea of my crypto risk tolerance. You'll get an idea of my crypto strategy when we start to touch on these. So I'm going to go ahead and bring up my notepad here. I actually created this a couple of days ago, but we're going to touch on a couple of things. There were some announcements today that kind of touch on what I pulled. But you can see my top five: Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, Cardano, which is ADA, and Matic, which is Polygon, are in the top 10 overall. So Bitcoin obviously is number one. Ethereum is number two. Scroll down a little bit more. XRP is number 6. Cardano's number 7. And Polygon's number 9. So did I intentionally do this? Kind of, right? I want to make sure that my investment is somewhat, I am risk averse to a certain extent, right? If I only had to pick five, um, these would be my first five options. Now, I'm going to talk about one or two that I might switch out, just depending on how things go. But the reason that I picked these top five, if you take the stable coins out of the equation, Tether and USD Coin, the only one that I didn't pick was BNB. And I didn't really, not pick it for any significant slide or anything. What I'm really looking for is the value of my dollar, right? And XRP is at 37 cents. Cardano is at 33 cents. Polygon's at $1.11. And so my whole idea is the ones that are below $1, what happened, how much would I have if they get to $1? And not gonna talk about my volume targets yet, or my holdings target of the amount I want to hold. We'll do that on a different video. But you can see that, I'm very pragmatic here. All of these are kind of layer one type of coins, or layer two coins, right? Now, if we look at the second five, I've got Immutable X, which is IMX. I've got Undead. Now, Undead is probably the one on here that is I'm the most biased on, and that's the game I'm going to talk about here in a minute. Then we have Hedera. I learned about Hedera probably 2 years ago, and Hedera is one of those types of projects that, if the right companies get involved and the right things get built on it, it could really take off. It is one of those type of projects that try to move the industry forward, move the blockchain forward. It's a blockchain type project that I consider, to be an evolutionary type project. So I like Hedera. Now, with the next one, with Lido Staked Ether, this would be one that I would maybe swap out for Ethereum in my top five, because it's staked Ethereum. And so that might be one that I would put in my top five in place of regular Ethereum. I might go with staked Ethereum. And then ApeCoin is my last of the top of the next five. Now, in my next five, 3 out of that 5 are all gaming based, and that is Immutable X, Undead Blocks, and ApeCoin. I believe that part of the next big bull run is going to be around gaming. Now, ApeCoin are the same guys that did the NFT sales of the Ape Yacht Club. It's Yuga Labs. They just did a phenomenal game run. So this is kind of like Bitcoin. This is the granddaddy of them all when it comes to the gaming and the NFTs, right? That's why they're on my list here. But I'm personally involved in a project called Undead Blocks. I'm pretty heavily invested in it. And last week, they opened up their earnings in the game. And so that's why I spent a lot of my time last week getting things set up, getting my NFTs that I own, getting them in game, getting players playing, using my assets, and I've already started earning in that ecosystem. So Undead Blocks is something that I'm personally been involved with. I own quite a bit of their NFTs, and so their game launched with the renting last week. I've been playing their beta, and so this is a project that is kind of near and dear to me, but they are partnered with IMX, right? They use IMX as their platform. Now, I'm going to try to pull up some news that just dropped today. And let's see if I can do this quick enough here to get their announcement. Um, six. Yeah, let's go here. Let's see if we can get this open. Not now. Uh, Here we go. So this was announced on Twitter that Immutable X is joining forces with Polygon. Now, why is this so important, and what is this going to do to both of these platforms? Right, they're both currently great platforms. Well, Polygon is a layer two network. What does that mean? All of those crazy gas fees that you hear that go on with the Ethereum network, well, they're not on Polygon. Polygon is built on top of Ethereum, but you don't have to pay all of the crazy Ethereum gas fees. And so when it comes to the gaming world, right, you want to have all these players. Just think of Xbox, think of PlayStation, right? You want to have all these players around the world playing a game, earning and transferring and doing all this crazy stuff, but you don't want to be hamstrung by gas fees. And so Polygon allows the whole gaming thing to happen in the crypto space, right? But it doesn't, you don't end up with a bunch of gas fees causing a bunch of problems. So in reality, Polygon, IMX, Undead Blocks, because Undead Blocks is already involved with IMX, are all kind of the same kind of play. Polygon and IMX are definitely going to be partners and working together. But, by going with Polygon, I'm going with the network. By going with IMX, Immutable X, they're going to be onboarding a ton of different games, and then one specific game out of that entire ecosystem that I'm like is Undead Blocks. So those three things are really, I expect to be taking advantage of what I believe is going to be one of the bigger parts of this next boom with crypto, which is going to be the gaming part of it, right? So these are my 10. Now, and you see here that I have a target buy below price for myself. Again, I encourage everybody, do your own research, come up with your list, come up with your budget, right? And so basically what I'm going to be doing is when I get my funds in and start allocating for my budget for the month, I'll look and see it. I'll start with my top 5, which of these are below my buy price, and then I'll figure out what I'm going to do, what I'm going to allocate for each one, right? And I'm going to come up personally with a target total amount of that I want to have in each of these, especially the top 5, but even the next 5. Let's just say with Undead Blocks, I set a target of, let's call it 10,000, that I want 10,000 undead tokens, right? That way, if it gets to $1 a token, I know that in that particular project, I have 10,000 tokens or $10,000 in value. Now, if I were to try to buy that right off the jump today, right, and I'm going to buy it at less than what, 20 cents? So if I bought it at 20 cents or less, that's going to cost me $2,000, right? So I would end up, again, if my target would be $1 to sell it, then I would make $8,000 just off of that hold. But I'm going to be buying it over time. So it might be less than 20 cents. The market might change and I might have to change my buy below price. But I'm going to do this for all of them, right? I'm going to do this for every single one of them. I might one month only be investing, a fifth or a tenth of my monthly budget into different projects, but I'm a planner. I'm somebody who I go into things and I plan things out. And being in crypto, you can do that if you're doing long-term holds and you're paying attention. It's very difficult to do it with day-to-day stuff. And the swing trade allows me to do swing trading, right? Allows me to look at different things and basically try to plan some things. But crypto is very volatile. There are lots of things that go on in the crypto world. You can see that when we started this call, this was all predominantly red. Now with less than 15 minutes, or right at 15 minutes, it's predominantly green, right? Let's look at the day. Overall, the day is red. Overall, the week, look at this. We've got some things that have had huge hits over the week, but overall, the market, you just kind of got to look at things. So I say all of that to hope that everyone understands you've got to be fluid in crypto. You got to be able to be nimble. You got to move from one thing to another. You got to find what works best for you. I've learned over the last 18 months or so that if it comes to trading, for me, swing trading is the best, right? It makes the most sense to me. It's the best. But because I've learned so much about the ups and downs, the ebbs and flows of crypto, that I'm now prepared to start holding crypto because I understand that crypto runs in cycles. And I'm going to kind of explain that to you. So I learned Bitcoin's been around right since like 2009, 2010. So Bitcoin has had the time to develop cycles. Everything runs in a cycle, right? And one of the things that is uh, Bitcoin has been shown to do, and by in turn crypto in general, is that once an all-time high has been created. So let's look at this real quick. The all-time high for Bitcoin was $69,044.77. So 69,044.77. Now, I talked about cycles and patterns and that sort of thing. Well, traditionally, Bitcoin or crypto drops by 80 to 85% before it starts its climb back to another all-time high. So if we look at this and we multiply this, we're going to go by 80, which means 0.2, right? So that means crypto would, or Bitcoin would traditionally drop to around a low of $13,808, roughly, right? Now, Bitcoin's already reached 16,000 this year. So let's pan out here, go to the last 90 days. Let's see here, and let's go to 180 so we can see it. See this dip here? This dip happened, and it was in November, and it was 15,742. Now, some people are saying that this was the bottom, right? That this event was the bottom of the crypto. This was the lowest that Bitcoin's going to go in this downturn that we're in, and that from here on out, it's going to be an upturn. That's entirely possible. It is entirely possible that it could go all the way down to 13 or 14,000, right? Before coming back out. Now, what does that mean for where we're at right now? Well, you can kind of see what does Bitcoin do after that. Just here in this view, it's gone sideways a little bit. It's starting to go up. And then we had this big push up here in March. Look at this. From March 10th, it was at 20,000 to now, March 20th, it's at 27,000, almost 28. That's a big jump in just, 10 days, right? Let's look at the year, because this is, I think, going to show really what I'm talking about. Here's that dip down, right? Here's the dip down right there to 15,742. And now, we still got a ways to go to get back up here to just 47, right? We've still got plenty of ways to get to 47. So but the cycles, that 85%, that 80%, right? Well, let's look at some of the other cryptos that I picked, right? And you might see a pattern of why I picked them. So let's look at Ethereum. Currently, Ethereum is down about 64%. If we look at the all-time high, right? So if we go clear, it was 48. I'm not going to do the decimal point. 8 times, we'll just do 80%. It's 975. Well, let's see what was Ethereum's low over the last year? It's probably this, 995. So that's close, right? 975. That 995 might have been the low, right? And now we're going sideways. We're going sideways. We still have a ways to get up here to 3,500, but that was that low right there. It was 995. So we might not get back down to that level, right? And so let's take a look at some of my next top five. We're not going to look at Matic. We're not going to look at those other ones. Let's look at IMX. All right, IMX. It is 86%. Come on, 86, almost 87% off of its all-time high right now. So this is a great opportunity to get into IMX if you believe in what's going to happen long term, right? This is part of what I think is going to be one of those opportunities. Now, what did I set my buy price? Below 140, right? When I looked at this, I said buy it below 140. Look what happened just in the last 24 hours. It was up here at 151 and it's dropped all the way down here, right? So I would be buying this below 140 because when I looked at it, it was way up here still. And I was trying to set when do I want to buy price, right? Well, I'm buying anything below 140, especially after today's announcement, right? Let's look at Undead Blocks. Undead Blocks. Let's look at it. It's 90% off its all-time high, right? And so what did I set my buy range at? I think I set it at below 20. Yep, below 20 cents. So where are we? We are at 21 cents. So it's still got to come down a little bit. Doesn't have to come down a lot. But, if I had funds to allocate, where do you think I would allocate them first? In IMX or in Undead Blocks? Based on just trying to take emotion out of it and based on the targets that I would put them in IMX, right? Let's look at H-bar, Hedera. Let's do H-bar. All right, here's Hedera. Hedera, 89% off its all-time high, right? So in addition to looking for things that I think are great value, right? I pick things. Let's look at ApeCoin. Right? I pick things that I think have big growth potential, right? And based on traditional market history with crypto. So ApeCoin is currently 85% off its all-time high. So just those three in the bottom five, right? In the next five, those three are gaming stocks, right? Those things are following the pattern of coming down 80 to 85% or more off their all-time high before bouncing and making their next all-time high. And I also included H-bar in that. And, I'll just go through the rest. Let's look at Matic. Let's look at Polygon real quick. So let's go back here. Let's look at Polygon. All right, Polygon. Here we go. How far is it off its all-time high? It's 61, 62%. So not quite that 80, but still it's got plenty of room to double your money if it's going to make a new all-time high, right? Let's look at Cardano, ADA, right? It's down 90, right? It's, all-time high was $3.09, right? Let's look at XRP. XRP's all-time high was $3.40. It's down 88, 89, right? So lots of opportunities to get in and start accumulating because I'm not going to say we're at the bottom or we've passed the bottom or whatever. I'm just going to say, based on everything that I've learned, these cryptos that I've picked that I'm going to hold, yes, the top five are all in the top 10 of cryptos, right? And then the next one, yeah, I'm centered on the gaming side in crypto because I think that's going to be a big deal. but almost all of my picks also fall into that cycle and that pattern of being 80 to 85% off their all-time high. And we know over history that cryptocurrencies that, yes, they could all go to zero, right? That happens. But the ones that survive what we call the downturn or the bear markets, when they come back in a bull market, they come back and create new all-time highs. So I can look at their current all-time high and reasonably expect that they're going to hit the new all-time high or go above it, right? And so that's kind of why I have my 10. So I encourage you to continue um, monitoring, watching the shows, and we'll do a little bit of look in the markets. Like if we look at the market right now, we just had the new day turnover. Let's see, there we go. I think Trading View there is going to open for us. We can look at the screener. We can take a look and see. Again, I'm transitioning away from day trading. I did that kind of as a test. I am not a very good day trader per se, even though I have tools. My mentality, the way that things make sense to me, are it's much easier for me to be a swing trader than a day trader. But there are some opportunities. Let's take a look at a couple of these. Let's open this one. Let's open this one. And let's open this one. All right. We can close STX. We don't need that one. All right. So here's CBK USDT. All right. It's got a bunch of buy signals here within the last day. Let's switch this down. Make this a 15-minute chart. So 15-minute chart, it's trying to come out from being under the white line and everything flipped around. Well, that's Ethereum. That's the wrong chart. I want to leave that at the days. Hold on. Let's get into where we're supposed to be. Here we go. Let's make this a 15-minute chart. So here's CKB. Had the big pump up here. Let's look at L pool. Similar. Right? Let's look at ODDZ. There you go. Now, I've got a lot of my indicators turned off because I was messing with my indicators. I'll have to go back and fix that. But let's just look at what's happened with Bitcoin and Ethereum over the last week or so. So let's take a look. We're going to go to Bitcoin first. And I have it on the day chart. So let's take a look here. Each one of these is a day, I believe. So March, yeah. So let's take a look. So here, let's go all the way down here. Where were we at on Tuesday, January 10th? Look what happened. We had this pump up. We had a pump in January. We got to here. And now we're in Tuesday, February 14th. Look at that. That's a month's worth of time, right? Roughly. Poof. We went from here at 17,330 all the way up here. Let's get accurate to 21,497. Then poof. Right? We came all the way here. This was the low part of that. It went up and then it came down to 19. So just under 20,000. And look what's happened. Poof. And this was when? This was March 10th. And we are where today? We are 10 days later. And we are currently sitting at 27.7. Look at that. In a matter of 10 days, look what Bitcoin did. Poosh. In the same time, around March 10th, we had all of that noise that happened with regards to the bank failing in California that was going to possibly cause a big whole issue. But the government came in. But look what Bitcoin did. Let's look at what Ethereum did in that same time frame. Almost mirrored it, right? In the way the chart looks. Look at that. Look at how we have the hop down, and then whoosh, the hop going straight up. We had the hop, right? This big hop, the hop down, and then whoosh. So Bitcoin and Ethereum kind of mirror each other. They follow each other um, overall, right? But just to revisit and recap before I end tonight, right? What are my top five crypto that I'm holding for 2023? And then what are my next five? My top five are Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, ADA, and Matic, right? Then my next five are Immutable X, Undead Blocks, Hedera, Staked Ethereum, Lido Staked Ethereum, or an ApeCoin. I have a monthly budget that I'm going to be instituting similar. If you had a monthly budget for yourself and I'm going to put this amount of money in my savings account, this amount of money in this account, right? I am going to have a certain amount of my budgeted funds that I'm putting into crypto as a longer term hold for the next bull run. The next bull run, I don't expect to start really in earnest until 2024, which gives me the rest of this year, which is what, 9 more months after March, or 8 more months after March, right? And then whatever it is into 2024 for me to be able to accumulate these cryptos. And that's what my goal is. I'm going to set targets of how much of each crypto do I want to have so that when that bull run hits, I'll have an expectation of a certain amount of return. That just makes sense to me. That's how my brain works, right? I've got other things that I'm involved. For example, I'll just touch on Undead Blocks. In Undead Blocks, I'm going to be potentially earning crypto in a way where every day, pretty much, I'll be earning a little bit of an in-game currency that I'll be able to cash out. I'll be cashing out into Matic. So I may not buy as much Matic because I'll be earning it with Undead Blocks, right? So there's lots of different ways. I'm in a whole lot of other projects as well. Some of you may know me from those projects. They just didn't make my top 10, right? For what I want to hold on to going into 2023 and 2024, right? And so I hope you enjoyed today's content. I'm going to be doing more of this. If there's something that you want, feel free to comment. If there's a topic you want me to cover, if there's a crypto you want me to cover, I can do a deep dive. I can do a review. We can do it on one of these sessions, on one of these calls. But I want to thank everybody for either being here live or watching it on a recording. I really do appreciate everybody. This is something that is challenging for me, but it's also something I enjoy. And I like sharing knowledge that I learn and learning new skills. So I again appreciate everybody being here. We're going to go ahead and wrap it up for today. I hope everybody has a wonderful, wonderful week, and we're going to go ahead and call it a